deal with a lot of moving parts. You want everything to be on
I
autopilot.
got a huge increase in orders, but it's nothing
And
we
to be
can't
prepared if anything changes.
I'll be right in.
With IBM, you can do both. Your business can bring data together across your clouds, from suppliers to shippers to the factory floor. So whatever comes your way, the wheels keep moving, seamlessly modernizing your operations. That's why so many businesses work with IBM.
Nice work, everyone.
ubiquitous believes in a sustainable world, one where people feel all their needs have been met. That's the vision that fuels our quest to become leaders in smart cities and everything they encompass, from mobility, connectivity, to the environment, tourism, energy, and all else that impacts our daily lives. You might be wondering, what's a smart city? Well, it's a place where your usual networks and services are optimized with the use of digital and telecommunication technologies, so your day-to-day activities are made easier. That means smarter resource use, less pollution, improved transport networks, upgraded waste management, and more efficient ways to manage light and heat for your greater comfort. The truth is, cities work a lot like our own bodies. They can be seen as a living organism that feels and reacts to stimuli. Much like our senses, smart cities have mechanisms that gather information, which is then processed by central control systems who define the most adequate response based on what is most beneficial to our survival and well-being. Through these processes, ubiquitous solutions have already changed the lives of residents of more than 60 smart cities all over the world. Anticipate the needs of your citizens through one single integrated platform. Let's talk.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the final event of 5GZORRO. We have the privilege to be hosted by the Universidad Carlos III here in Madrid. So we appreciate these great efforts done by the university. We are here for a very special event in two parts. The first one just to give a very important results about 5GZORRO. And the second part with Gregorio Martinez from the University of Murcia, we will have a very special tech talk with 4 extraordinary speakers coming even from abroad, Finland and UK, I think. So welcome to Shoaib Siddiqui and Giacomo Bernini. One is the chief in commander for the project, Shoaib, and the CTO of Giacomo. So we start to begin this kind of part of 5GZORRO, very important. So the project introduction from Shoaib Siddiqui Itoscat, please.
Thank you. I'll take it from
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so can you hear me well? Yeah.
The mic? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very well. Well, welcome everyone. First of all, apologies for starting a little late. We run into some live problems, but nevertheless, I'll start with this. 5GZORRO is today will present you the final results of this project. This project has been in making for 3 years, and we are very glad to bring you to highlight. We'll highlight the main results that we have accumulated. I'll explain what this project is, what were the main goals, and what we have done on a high level. Later on, Giacomo will go do a technical dive into different aspects that we did, and afterwards you will also see the demonstrations. Okay, so to start with, the Zorro project, it is the Horizon 2020 5G PPP program. This project was funded there. The main motivation behind this project was, if I have to put it in one-liner, was to enable the ubiquitous computing in 5G. The promise of 5G, of connectivity and computing everywhere, that was the main target for us. And for that, we see like there were already some challenges in 5G consolidation going on. So we have been hearing for 5G for some years now, but we have yet to see a mass rollout with all the features that 5G promised, right? So what we identified that are the main challenges that it's facing. Of course, one of the main one is the spectrum, which is a very scarce resource. So far the spectrum sharing is not, it hasn't been given that, let me say, importance, or it hasn't been investigated enough before. And now more than ever in 5G, and now we also know that there are talks of working towards architecture in 6G. This topic has to be investigated. Let me remind you, this idea we started in 2018. When this idea was kind of conceived with the colleagues here, Gregorio from University of Murcia, and our friend Dinos. I'd like to mention it. It's like from ICOM. So 2018, so we thought, okay, this is one main aspect that needs to be investigated. Then we already see the automation that's becoming a big need in the network management, right? Why? Mainly because of the distributedness of the networks, the multi-technologies, the multi-domains we are dealing with. As the complexity increases, the management becomes very cumbersome. Hence, the use of AI becomes very important for it. On the other hand, now, like the promise, like I said, connectivity and computing everywhere cannot be handled by one domain. So we have to go cross domains. And then we directly get stuck into the problem of trust establishment among. So if I'm going to lease out resources from another domain, how do I trust it? And then again, we are distributed. So distributed security is another, so these are some of the challenges we had in mind. And as you can see, there are three main research and innovation pillars in 5GZORRO, which is targeting. One is the use of AI for zero automation, focusing on the network management, secure and distributed 5G marketplace. So I can only lease out resources if I know, or they're available to me in a structured manner, right? So this is again, and secure and distributed. So here you will see later on, Giacomo will explain. So we anchor the whole marketplace in DLT, okay? And then the last pillar, a very important one, is this trust and security. How that could be established in such an environment which is multi-domain, with multi-technologies. So in a very nutshell, you can see like these are three different operators. Everyone have their own resources, different kind of resources. And what Zorro will enable them for is this, that they are able to discover the resources with some level of automation. Intelligently, those resources could be selected and requested. And also this acquisition of resources could be automated with the help of smart contracts anchored in DLT. So that whole process is enabled by Zorro. And of course, the trust establishment across it. So this is our consortium. Yes, thank you. So we have like different stakeholders already a part of the consortium, which was very important. So you'll see like we have, since we are targeting spectrum sharing, so definitely we had to bring on board a regulator, and MCA, the Maltese Communication Authority, were partners. Telefonica, Intracom, Altis Lab, Museum Murcia, and then we have a bunch of other which were focused on the developing the 5G solution itself. Nextwork, IBM, Atos, Ubiware, ITCAD, and FPK. So these are like this is the team that worked on the project. Now, like I said, today we're going to present you different results, as you will see in the later in the evening. So I'll leave that for Giacomo to go into details. However, I would like to highlight one main thing here, that in this project, we not only just validated technically the concept and the architecture of a Zorro platform, but we also gave a lot of importance and spent a lot of effort in legal aspects as well. And because this marketplace, how it will be governed, what frameworks which are available needs to be kept in mind, and also the business validation. So this comes later. So technical validation, there were 3 different use cases. You'll see the demos on them later. And there was these 2 labs where we validated them. In the legal validation, like I mentioned, so we identified the legal frameworks that can be applicable to different aspects of Zorro. And we made sure that they were considered in the design and the development, so along the whole process. So here that is like, for some, we are compliant, but for the most of them, we are aligned. And because there are lots of things that, that changes from different countries, the legal matters are different. But nevertheless, this is a very important aspect of the project that we kept it in consideration while the design and implementation and validation of the results. Similarly, for business validation, we did multiple efforts. For example, like propping of the value proposition as an operator's profile, business model canvas as a usual exercise. We also, to get external input, we had the market research survey for the business validation, and of course the techno-economic analysis. Doing all this and with the results, so the technical results and all these aspects has led us to very important exploitation opportunities. And one of them is with one of the partners in the consortium, with our MCA. And it's like, for them, it is a very attractive to have spectrum trading in the Maltese telecom market. So we are like, after even beyond the project, this is very interesting for partners in the consortium and MCA as an entity itself to further dig into this. Furthermore, there are talks with with Telefonica. The concept of so the Telefonica is working on a global operators concept, and they found a marketplace idea of Zorro that could enable their global operators. So this is something, another exploitation opportunity we see with external work that's being done separately. Another opportunities is IoT managed connectivity, leveraging the Zorro marketplace. So you see like the spectrum sharing validation we did, and the marketplace we enable. It's having attention even external to the consortium. I'll keep it very short now. So this is where the project is in the 5G PPP ecosystem. So as I told you in the very beginning, this is a Horizon 2020 program, and within that there's a sub-program 5G PPP. And on the top, there was certain projects that were granted under the long-term evolution of 5G, and here's what 5GZORRO. So there are a lot of other projects, good projects that are funded under 5G PPP. For more details, you can visit their website to find more. So event, like I mentioned, so here I will, very quick introduction of what are we targeting and what we achieved, but we go a little deeper with Giacomo now. So you will hear Giacomo now from the technical side, and later the demos. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. I really appreciate it. Great job. And now Giacomo Bernini for the technical insight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Yes, so as said by Shoaib, yes, the idea is to combine and complement what he was saying about general introduction on the project with some more technical insight, also focusing on the main results that we achieved, and that then hopefully will link to the demos that we show afterwards. Coming back to the challenges that Shoaib highlighted, so we identified few building blocks and enabling technologies to indeed consolidate the 5G evolution in respect to what 5GZORRO aimed to achieve. So first, operational data lakes. So the idea of data, it's gaining a lot of interest, and it's becoming more and more important to enable automation and enable in-network and let's say in general AI for assisting network orchestration and management, but in general runtime operation of services, including cognitive technologies. So these data lakes can indeed should indeed enable these, and with features for managing data, controlling data, and enabling pipelines for the AI. An important aspect is related to the DLTs. So trust and security was indeed one of the key pillars of the project. So DLT is the technology that we use for enabling distributed security and trust across the different parties. So the idea is indeed to go beyond this point-to-point interaction at the business level and enable this multi-party, let's say, business interactions that could give value to the service, to the 5G service chain. And then also try to exploit more and more the cloud-native technologies to go beyond a bit to the traditional SDN and FV-based services, and going always towards this edge computing and enabling technologies like Kubernetes. That is something that we have integrated deeply into the project and in the platform that we have developed. In terms of, let's say, architecture, so we started with a kind of concept, so a conceptual architecture that started from the three pillars that Shoaib mentioned before. And so the very first step was to identify the main stakeholders that we were targeting. So stakeholders were, for us, are mobile network operators, virtual operators, of course, verticals, but in general, service providers and whoever can offer resources. For example, infrastructure providers that can offer resources at the edge for enabling specific use cases. On top of these requirements that we get from the stakeholders, we defined different services that we want to expose somehow to these stakeholders in terms of spectrum sharing and spectrum management, smart contract lifecycle management, resource discovery and broker logic, and others that would leverage on the DLTs in order to enable this trust between the different stakeholders, and that would leverage some kind of, let's say, functionalities that the platform should provide at both cross-domain and intra-domain level. So there is a tight integration between different type of functionalities that we envisaged in the architecture for, of course, resource and service orchestration, cross-domain network analytics, security and trust, and also that are also reflected into intra-domain similar functionalities. In terms of, let's say, practical work, so this concept that we had at the beginning was translated into an actual implementation of the architecture that it's a kind of, innovative platforms of platforms. So the idea was to leverage on the HCZSM approach with these different and heterogeneous management domains that are loosely coupled, but at the same time they are very integrated and with interactions among them. So the idea that we conceived is to have this marketplace platform that contains all those functionalities that allow to trade resources and services among different stakeholders, so enabling this multi-party service chain that is integrated with the governance platform that allows these different stakeholders to access the marketplace platform and to regulate how they access it, and to regulate how they access the different offers, services, and resources. Then all of these functionalities, these platforms are somehow combined and integrated with zero-touch service management and orchestration. That includes also trust and security, as we will see later, that allows indeed to, let's say, translate the business logic at the marketplace into something that is more technical, that requires workflows for orchestrating the deployment, allocation, and configuration of resources to offer on demand these 5G network services. And then at the end, this concept of AI ops, so to combine big data and AI to enable this, let's say, optimization of the operation of services and also resources. So in terms of achievements and results, so now you will see some slides popping up with highlights on what has been achieved in these 4 platforms. Marketplace and governance, you will see them together because they're very tightly integrated. Marketplace and governance, they are anchored in DLTs, both, to enable this multi-party and, let's say, cross-domain trust. We use specific technologies in the project, but how we designed and developed the marketplace and the governance allows to integrate even different type of DLT technologies beyond Corda that was used for the marketplace and the Ledger Indy for the governance. In terms of main achievements here, what we call the resource and service offers, so the products that we put in the marketplace and that are modeled following TM Forum specification. This is something that gives, we believe, a big value to what we expose with the marketplace because we didn't define anything from scratch. We reused and adopted specifications from the standards that allow indeed in each domain to catalog the different offers for resource services and products and then disseminate to the other stakeholders, leveraging on smart contract lifecycle management functionalities that are those indeed that are integrated with the DLT to enable the dissemination and synchronization of the catalogs among the different stakeholders, keeping security and trust because of the DLTs. The smart contract lifecycle management is also the main functionality responsible to manage the spectrum sharing and the spectrum licenses through the concept of the spec token that will be discussed later into the specific demo for dynamic spectrum allocation. And as I said before, it's important to highlight that whatever we did for the project, we were using specific DLT technologies, but we are agnostic about them. So we could embed different and integrate different technologies. And then on the governance side, we have a distributed, let's say, mechanism for identity and permission management that is based on distributed identities. And it's indeed providing those processes for stakeholders to join the marketplace and have authorized access to the specific resources, offers, and services. On the zero-touch service and resource orchestration part, that, as I said before, is integrated with security and trust. The main pillar is this intelligence license service management orchestration that provides those business-level workflows that allows to combine and orchestrate the product offers across different stakeholders, and at the same time provide optimization functionalities to optimize the placement and the selection of the resources according to specific let's say, constraints like location, latency, and so on. And the integration with technical orchestrators that allows to actually deploy the slices, deploy the services on top of the 5G virtualized infrastructure. So this combination of intelligence license service management with technical orchestrator allows to have an approach that, again, is agnostic with respect to the specific infrastructure that is managed. We have also distributed the license management, which is very important, linked and anchored in DLT as well. So we are able in the smart contracts and in the offers to link both SLAs, but also licenses that can be monitored. For example, licenses for VNFs that can be monitored in each domain. And let's say actions can be taken to terminate services when licenses are not fulfilled. As I said, so very tight integration with security and trust also as part of the service and resource orchestration. We have specific trust and reputation management framework functionalities that allow to score the stakeholders and those participating into the marketplace with specific information that is collected from the network, from the infrastructure, with specific functionalities for SLA monitoring and also analyzing how the different stakeholders behaves in terms of respecting or not SLAs. This gives the possibility to do some smart selection of stakeholders and offers according to indeed the score of the reputation of the stakeholders. And then to let's say add more and more trust in the trust execution environment, we can indeed run and execute some of the components of the platform in order to have a secure and isolated execution of the components, and those selected for this TE environment were those that are managing the pipeline of the data that is collected and let's say processed by the platform. Then for the cross-domain analytics and intelligence for AIOps, the main enabler, as I said before, is this let's say logically centralized data lake with all the services that have been developed on top of it for data processing, AI pipelines, and ingestion of data from different operators. that would enable, let's say, added value services for smart resource and service discovery, and also intelligent SLA breach prediction through monitoring of the SLA metrics. We can anticipate and proactively, let's say, adapt the running services according to potential SLA breach predictions. So just to go in the conclusion, all of this, it's running, it's existing, so it's not just slides or concepts. We developed a lot of stuff. The platform source code is publicly available on GitHub. We have in the platform more than 20 software components integrated. We will see the demos later, with a total amount of almost 300,000 lines of code. And as part of the exploitation that is linked also with the MCA, let's say, early adoption, we have these new functionalities developed for the automated platform deployment that indeed provides a bootstrapping from scratch of the whole 5G platform with, let's say, a fixed or even dynamic number of stakeholders that you can find also on the GitHub. And then just to introduce the next sessions for the demos, as Shoaib said, the idea now is to show the results in terms of demonstrations from the use cases. So we have the 3 demonstrations for the smart contracts for ubiquitous computing and connectivity use case, dynamic spectrum allocation, and pervasive VCDN services. All these use cases have been validated in the project and demonstrated in a geographically distributed testbed that is split between Barcelona and Madrid, where we have deployed a marketplace with 5 different stakeholders, with 3 operators, 4 operators, and 1 regulator that we will see using during the demos afterwards. So that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Giacomo. Even congratulations for your job, and because the audience growing a lot during your speech, so congratulations. So we passed the torch of more than 700 people watching to Michael. So Michael, you need to maintain this kind of audience, please. And your speech is about automated market for real-time resource allocation demo. You have 20 minutes just to avoid not to have a big delay for the audience. So this is the presentation. Please, Michael. Thank you.
So the first demo that will be shown in this final event of the 5GZORRO project is the one covering the use case 1 scenario. So we're going to present the automated market for real-time resource allocation. The purpose of this demo is to show, highlight, and in a way demonstrating some of the most innovative and let's say interesting feature of the 5GZORRO platform. The focus of this demo is the marketplace and the way offers can be created from single offers for network services and a lot of other assets that will be shown later on, and composed offer, creating offer composed of offer created by other operators, the interactive creation of licensing and service level agreements, as well as the possibility to automatically discover resources and services available on the architecture and translating them from their technical description to TMF models in a way that they can be human readable and purchased whenever included in an offer. Also, offer created by operators can be obviously purchased by other operators, and all of these offers and orders are persisted on a DLT. So we have distributed ledger technology, as Giacomo mentioned before, that in this case of the marketplace is the Corda DLT. Then, apart from the marketplace demonstration, we also have the governance with the onboarding of a new stakeholder that in our demo will work and will act as a service consumer. The zero-touch orchestration, upon acquiring the offer offered by another operator, the services purchased will be instantiated and the licensing and SLAs attached to it monitored. Last, the security and trust. Among the deployment of the service, we we're gonna establish a secure communication channel between in a cross-domain end-to-end service deployment. So, as I was saying before, in this demo we have 4 actors that we're gonna call operator A, B, C, and operator E. In this case, operator E is acting as an automotive vertical that its scope is to join the 5GZORRO marketplace and then lease an end-to-end service in order to basically enable the update, the firmware update of 5G enabled machine, enabled car, in order to let's say have the cars connected to an edge server and then pull the firmware updates from the server available in the core. So in this demo, operator A, B, and C works as a service provider. Operator A is offering a core, while operator B is offering edge resources. Operator C will inspect its own, from its portal, will inspect the offer available on the market, purchase offer from operator A, purchase the offer from operator B, and then create a composite offer that will then be purchased by the automotive vertical. So operator E. This demo for use case 1 has been demonstrated, tested, and validated against the 5GZORRO testbed. That is basically a testbed that span across 2 facilities, one here in Madrid, the 5-tonic testbed, and the other one in Barcelona. So basically, the whole marketplace is anchored on the Corda DLT, and this Corda DLT and all the other components of the test of the marketplace are span across the 2 testbeds, and the operators are placed in different testbeds. So in this case, operator A, B, and C take place in the 5G Barcelona testbed, while operator E, the automotive vertical, is in the 5-tonic testbed here in Madrid. The asset that operator A and operator B offer to the market are in the form of network services. So the network service for the core offered by operator A comprise a 5G core, a emulated radio access network, and a programmable VPN gateway. Then the operator E has a network service that offer as a product offering comprising edge resources, the firmware application that will enable the car to pull basically the firmware and update it. Then it's the time for the video demo. We are gonna show the demo step by step, basically describing one step and then proceeding with the video demo that describe and show how it is implemented and demonstrated. The first step is basically performed by operator A and operator B that make use of the 5GZORRO platform and the portal to let's say automatically discover the resources on the underlying architecture and then translating them, as I was saying before, in TMF models, so resource and service specification that then they can be used to create product offering that will be seen by the other operators of the 5GZORRO marketplace. Then, apart from resource and services describing the network services, operator A and operator B will also upload on their local portal the templates for licenses for operator B and SLAs for operator A. So let's see this first step of the demo. As I was saying, operator A will provide a product offer for the core, that will comprise 3 VNF, the core, the VPN gateway, and the emulated radio access network. Here you can see the 5GZORRO portal. The technical resources and services are automatically discovered, and they can be translated in the form of TMF service specification that, as I was saying before, they can be then used in order to create product offering. Here the characteristics of the resources are shown. After that, as I was saying, operator A proceeds to uploading on the portal an SLA template, a service level agreement template, that then can be used to create a service level agreement object that can be attached to an offer in order to be monitored whenever instantiated. Here, the template has been uploaded and shown in order to see the legal details. Operator B basically performs the same steps. It offers a network service in the form of a service specification, comprised 3 resource specification, so 3 VNF with their characteristic. So here we have the automatic translation from the technical description to TMF models, and then the final result with all the characteristics of the service in a human readable language. Then operator B proceed with the uploading of a license template that then will be attached to a product offering price that will be connected to a product offering in order to describe the licensing the licensing terms related to an offer that will be then instantiated for operator E, that will buy the whole composite offer that will be created by operator C. But before that, the product offerings need to be created, since for now we only created the service specification that describe the network services that could be offered to the other stakeholders of the 5GZORRO platform. In this second step of the demo, we are going to use for operator A and for operator B the service level agreement created, the license, the templates, the license template created, and the service specification created to build a product offer. Oh, well, 2 product offers, one for operator A and one for operator B. Operator A will offer the core, while operator B will offer the edge resources. So, from the perspective of operator A, the first step is the creation of the SLA object that will be used for basically filling the template, creating the SLA object that will be then connected to a product offering. Product offering will be then persisted once created in the DLT, disseminated among all the other operators that can then visualize it on their local portal. So here the license is filled, the template is filled with the values inserted by the operator A. Then operator A has all the assets that he needs to create his own offer. So the offer for the core. In this tab of the portal, we can create a product offer. We select the service specification describing the core. We select the price associated to this offer, and we fill all the parameters connected to the offer for the core offer. So the name, the location, in this case Barcelona, the description, the validity of the offer, and the category. In this case, as I was saying before, it is a product offer. Then the license created, the SLA created before, is attached to the offer. The submit button is pushed, and the offer is available on all the other operators. Operator B, it performs basically the same steps, but in this case we are gonna show also the creation of the price, because the license that has been uploaded on the portal and then filled with the actual values needs to be attached to the portal. So when the product offering will be included in the offer built by operator C and then acquired by operator E, then we need to be monitored in order to basically respect the terms of the license. Then here the product offering is created for the edge offer, and then as well as the offer for the core disseminated among all the other operators. Step 3, the operator C exploit the portal to find and purchase the offer created by operator A and operator B. Then he purchases those offers and creates, using them, a brand new offer that basically represent the end-to-end service that will purchased by operator E, the new stakeholder of the platform and the automotive stakeholder. Operator C, acting as a service provider, search the portal for the offer created, and maybe we can skip a bit, not this way. Okay. Basically, all the action performed by operator C are the same performed by operator A and operator B. Select the offers and creating the composite offer in the same way it was performed for operator A for the core and for operator B for the edge. Then it's the turn of operator E, the stakeholder. Operator E will join the marketplace, basically registering itself to the portal. So here the governance aspect of the 5GZORRO platform will be demonstrated. So operator E will join the platform, and using an intent-based search will look on the catalog to an offer that respects its intent. So in this example, we are showing a human languages intent-based research which is used by the operator E to look in the catalog for a composite offer for edge and core in Barcelona, in order to be then purchased, as we are seeing now, and then instantiated in a second step. Here, the composite offer created by operator C is purchased, filling all the fields for the creation on a new order. Then the order, as well as the offering, is disseminated on the DLT, but in this case only among the buyer, the seller, and the regulator. So in this case, operator C, operator A, and operator E, since operator A is also working as governance. In fact, when operator E registered to the platform, he was accepted by operator A. Then instantiation. When the offer is end-to-end offer is acquired, is ordered by operator E, from the portal, operator E could ask the instantiation of the offer, so the end-to-end service. The ISSM will take care of instruct all the other ISSM that take place in all the other operators to instantiate the network service that comprise the composite offer. So the instantiation of the network service for the core in operator A and the instantiation of the edge in operator B. So here we can you can appreciate the workflows that basically instruct all the other ISSM, and the ISSM will instruct the NSSO to instantiate the network services. And then after that, the service will spawn and be deployed across the two facilities. And the firmware update edge up service available for the car manufacturer to instruct their automotive vehicle to use this service and firmware update their vehicle. In the meanwhile, that ISSM instructs the other ISSM for the instantiation, the NSSO will contact the licensing manager for the management of the license. So the network service for the edge up that has been instantiated also need to be monitored. The licensing manager will spawn a watcher that will basically see that all the terms specified in the license are respected. The last step of this demo is the demonstration of the functionalities of the edge up. So here we can see basically all the placement of the components in the core and edge. In the bottom right of the screen, we can see the emulated vehicle, 5G vehicle that basically registered to the core server. Then you log in and receive back from the server the IP address of the edge and a token that will use to retrieve the list of available firmwares on the edge and then choose one among them and download. So it can basically update its firmware. So that's it, and thank you.
Thank you. The very special presentation, Michael, because you reach more than 1,000 people watching. So you make better than Giacomo before. So now is the problem we pass to Miguel, because Miguel needs to reach much more, in my opinion. And we save 5 minutes of our delay. So we invite Miguel Catalan from Itoscat for a very interesting point, the dynamic spectrum allocation demo. Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. So the idea of this presentation is to present to you the outcomes of use case 2, which is about dynamic spectrum allocation. So the main objective of this use case was to incorporate the spectrum as a resource that can be traded in the 5GZORRO DLT-based market. We considered here that, first of all, 5G opens the door to new actors beyond traditional MNOs. So they want radio resources, they want spectrum resources, and maybe it's complex to them to access to the traditional market. Then we have the operators. The operators, they want to maximize revenues regarding their spectrum, which is scarce and also expensive. And then we have the regulators that they want to facilitate this trading. They want to adopt digital transformation, as commented by Swaib. In the team, we have MCA and a regulator, and so we are aligned in this view. So considering all of this, the idea is that 5GZORRO implements automated and secure transactive spectrum sharing. So the main business scenario that we have considered is an area where we have industry verticals, where they need this spectrum or radio resources to enable Industry 4.0 use cases. These are the stakeholders that we have considered. I have already commented them, but we have also here the radio resource provider that is the one that provides the hardware, let's say. So one of our main innovations here is the definition of the spec token. So the idea is to digitalize the spectrum resource. And for that, this spec token, it's a way of digitally representing the spectrum resource, consider the band, the frequency, the area, the validity time. We implemented this through non-fungible tokens, NFTs, which are stored in the marketplace. And the idea is that the holder of these spec tokens is able to trade or to use this spectrum. So this way, in order to participate in the market, the spectrum providers, they need to get their licenses, their real licenses accepted by the regulator. This triggers the generation of a primitive spec token that represents this license. And then the provider is able to go to the market and trade. Logically, the provider will not offer the entire spectrum in the market. So the idea is that it can segment these resources in a way that he provides different offers that are not overlapping, consider the frequency, the area, or the validity time. And when these offers are offered in the market, the consumers are now able to order it through the platform. So after a trading occurs, we generate a smart contract between the consumer and the provider, and also a derivative spec token, which is derived from the primitive spec token. And it represents this segment of the spectrum. And now the idea is that the consumer is able to use it for deploying slices. And how we are doing this, so as commented by Giacomo, we also implemented in the platform a zero-touch automated way of deploying run slices, in a way to facilitate this procedure to the consumers. So the consumer just needs to select the order, spectrum, and the ready order, to specify some parameters related to the service, like the payment ID, the IMSIs that are allowed to use the service, the DNN. And then we deploy the slice using the orchestrators and the controls that are integrated in the platform. So we even ensure that the ready devices that are being used in the platform are ready to use this spectrum, or even if needed, we're able to configure them. So the last step here is, okay, we have deployed the slice. Now we need to monitor that its operation follows the SLA that was associated to the offer. So here the idea is that we define metrics that can be monitored. We define rules that are able to detect these SLA breaches. For instance, in this use case, we consider the location of the radio nodes, interference levels, the transmission power as a way of checking that the operation of the spectrum is as was defined in the spec token. Also, we can consider the time to deploy it as a way of ensuring that consumer is not getting monopolizing all the resources in the platform, to avoid that competitors are able to participate. And yeah, the idea is that 5GZORRO monitors SLAs and is able also to solve conflicts. So it's able to compensate consumers in case of a SLA breach, also to terminate the slices if it determines that we have a harmful slice there, or even we are able to redeem spec tokens if the SLA breach is very severe or serious in the system. So now is time for the demo. The idea is that we have prepared three different videos showcasing different operations related to this use case too. So the first one is related to spectrum management. You will see all the part related to spectrum certificate generation, the generation of the primitive spec token, the part of generating the spectrum offer, including the SLA, and ordering the spectrum offer that triggers the generation of the derivative spec token. Then the part of slice management, the offer, the order, the deployment, and also the testing. And finally, the part of SLA monitoring, where we will emulate an SLA breach based on location, not moving the real hardware. It's emulated to avoid going to Barcelona with the radio. And also, we will show how we terminate the spectrum and the slice. Also, let me remark that this testbed was done in Barcelona with real 5G hardware and UEs, radio, and core. So it's time for the videos. Okay, it's starting. Okay. So we will start with the certificate request part. So this is operator B, the spectrum provider. This is related to the real license that it has. And this request is sent to the regulator that will accept it. And after it gets accepted, this is shown in the, now the operator will have the license and will be able to use the spectrum for trading. Now here you can see, so this is the smart contract lifecycle manager. It's able to connect to the Corda vault and to show the primitive spec token and the NFTs that has been generated. So here you can see that the issuer is the regulator and the holder is the operator B. Now it's time to create the offers. First of all, we will create an SLA template. We will onboard the SLA template and create an SLA. Later, we will go again on this SLA. So very fast, you can see that they are putting the metrics, the rules to monitor the breaches. This is SLA that has been generated. And you can see there the different service commitments. Okay, now the idea is that the spectrum provider will generate this spectrum resource that is a small piece, a segment of the license. You can see here the different frequencies, the band, etc. This is generated. So it's related to the license. So we have a way of associating the offer to the license that enables its generation. And you can see here, yeah, different parameters related to this offer, to this resource. And now the operator is able to generate the offer related to this resource. You can see here again the different values. It selects a validity time, a price, and it associates this offer to the SLA that we have created before. Okay, now we have created the offer, and the offer is available in the marketplace, so the consumer will be able to use it. Okay, that will be the next part of the video. Okay, now we see the consumer. The consumer gets to the marketplace and see the offer and orders it. So after ordering it, it becomes active in the marketplace, and we will see that we have generated the derivative spec token. In a moment, we go to the API of the consumer, and we can see the spec token here that is associated to the primitive spec token, and also we can see the NFT that here we will have the issuer, the spectrum provider, and the holder is the consumer. Okay, so in the next video, we incorporate now the operator A, that is the one that provides the radio resources, and also as a way of deploying the slice. So these are the different steps that we will see in the video. So we start with the offer creation for the slice. So this is operator A now. this is the. So one thing to mention is that this is a configurable slice. That means that the radio devices are not configured, so they are prepared to be used in a specific band, and we use the configuration of the spectrum to configure these radios to our orchestrators. So you will see that in the order that we have through in the configurable type. So we create this offer, linking it with a validity time and a price, and this offer will appear in the marketplace. Okay. So now it's the time to create it. And the first created. Okay. And the video showing that all the operators have access to this order. So now operator C does an intent-based search. So the idea is that it can go to the market and write, okay, one spectrum and a slice in band 77 in Barcelona. So this way the search filters the different orders. Now also it's able to compare the trust score of the different providers to find the better order according to the reputation in the platform. As I commented, so it's a configurable one in band 77. And yeah, the consumer will select it. And will place the order. Okay, now again, the order becomes active in the marketplace. So now is the time to deploy the slice. So this is the next video. So operator C goes to the marketplace and goes to ICCM and will deploy this slice. As I commented, it just needs to provide through this file some parameters of the service, the deployment ID, the IMSIs, and the DNN. And then it will select the order. So since this is a configurable slice, it needs also to select a spectrum. So not only the radio part, so it's forced to select the spectrum and the radio and to deploy. So now we have a new transaction, and you will see here that, yeah. So you already see this in the use case one video, but it's a slice deployment. So with all the different steps that are needed for that. So now we have sent the orchestration request to operator A, the slice provider. And you can see here the orchestrator. It gets the parameters from the spectrum to configure everything. It polls the orchestrator. And you can see here that, yeah, the slice is being instantiated. Okay, now something interesting that we will go later on this, that we created an SLA event that links the transaction with the SLA to be monitored. So later we can monitor the SLA of this slice. So the deployment was successful, and you can see here the transaction ID that is linked to this slice instance. And this is the testing. So basically here we have an Amarisoft-based radio that was configured using the platform to use the radio configuration of the spectrum, also to be connected to the core that was deployed. You can see here that they are connected. In the right side, we have the user that starts the radio and connects to the Amarisoft. You can see here it's connected now. It gets an IP. And now we will show that, okay, it's connected to the signal levels, that is connected to 5G radio, to the deployment ID 00103, if I'm not wrong. And now it starts an hyper. That is just to show you that we are monitoring the radio with a custom Prometheus exporter. You can see here the throughput, for instance, or the quality of the signal. Okay. Go to the next one. So in this final one, we will demonstrate the part of SLA monitoring. Okay, so the idea is to showcase the part of monitoring and breach detection, and then the different corrections that we can do. So as you remember, so when we created the order, the spectrum order, we associated to a SLA. So these were the parameters. We considered the location of the GNB, the transmission power, the software interference, and the time to deploy. Here we will consider for the demo only the location. So these are the values and the rules, the different thresholds that you can see here. We linked this with the slice instance. So everything is linked in the platform. You can see here the metrics that are being exposed through the Prometheus exporter. So this is the interference. These are the location, the longitude, and the latitude. This is sent to the Prometheus server, and this Prometheus server, the system is able to, the platform is able to trigger the metrics from it. So these metrics are sent to the data lake particularly. So you can see here the transaction ID, the different metrics, the values. And these metrics also are sent to the SLA monitoring. This is the next step. And the SLA monitoring, according to the SLA, monitor these metrics, consider the different rules and thresholds that have been defined, and in case of a violation, they say that they send an event to the data lake according to this violation. You can see this here. So we have the transaction ID, we have the SLA ID, and we have the type of violation that has occurred. In this case, is related to the location. And this is just a Grafana showing how the radio was moving, and okay, when it's out of the range of the of the area, we get this SLA breach. So the final step here is that, okay, we detect this through the portal, so we have a warning that an SLA breach has occurred. Operator B, the spectrum provider, gets this and is able to see, okay, I need to now to check this violation. It can go to the smart control cycle manager and see that this violation has occurred. This is just to showcase that this is in the system. And then the idea is that it will go and terminate the spectrum order. So you can see here, it goes to the order. And this was stated in the SLA that because if this breach occurs, it will go and terminate the spectrum order. And you will see here that it has been cancelled in the system, and also the derivative spec token will be deleted. So it's cancelled through the marketplace. And now you can see that the NFT is not there. So it has been deleted. So now this consumer is now not able to use this spec token again. And this is the part of the slice provider. Very similar. It gets notification, and now because of what was stated in the SLA, is able to go to the marketplace and cancel the slice and terminate it. So you will see this in the different steps. So now we terminate the slice, and after some seconds, you will see that it has been cancelled in the system. So first in the marketplace and later in the ISSM. So it's terminated now. And in a few seconds, it gets terminated. Succeeded. Now it's terminated. And that's all from my side. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Very important contribution from your side, Miguel Catalan from Midoscat, about dynamic spectrum allocation demo. Thank you so much. And now we switch to Greece icon. Welcome, Marinella Mertiri. And you're talking about the use case number 3, right? We prepare your presentation, and we are in time, and finally we have question and answer for our viewers and for the audience here. Please.
Hello, everyone. The goal of this presentation is to show the third scenario considered in the 5GZORRO project, that is pervasive VCDN services. So generally, the content delivery networks are geographically distributed networks of computation and storage resources that are used to offer high availability and high performance services to content consumers. A common CDN challenge that CDNs has to compete is the fact of the uneven popularity of certain content in space and time, which in turn stresses the resource utilization at certain points, geographical locations, and at certain times. An example of such a case could be an example of such a case could be a sport or a music event where there is an increased request of content, and probably the CDN is not dimensioned to handle this increased traffic for this specific location. To deal with this challenge, the common approach is to make the network more, to increase elasticity, that is to be able to instantiate to extend the service to reallocate the network resources based on the need for the specific location where the problem occurs. 5GZORRO is a solution that, 5GZORRO can help towards this solution, and it also offers the benefit of being able to use also third-party resources and not relying only in a single communication service provider or a single resource provider. So the main objective of use case 3 is to use third-party resources to extend the CDN service. 5GZORRO offers mechanisms for discovering and integrating these resources seamlessly. In this specific scenario that we will see, we assume that there are a lot of users connected to the air interface of a specific operator. So the radio part is stressed. So we have to lease radio resources from a third party that is nearby, as well as compute resources to extend the service. This will be done before reaching an SLA violation or before the users perceives any performance degradation. To achieve this, monitoring data are collected in a data lake, and these are used to generate predictions regarding the future performance of the network. So generally in this scenario, we have a service provider who purchases a network service, a CDN network service offer and a slice offer in order to create a CDN slice. For the sake of the demo, these offers are provided by the same operator, that is operator A, but it could be two different operators. Operator C is the consumer of these two offers. Okay, and operator B is the one, generally we have a lot of providers in the marketplace that offer various resources. For this scenario, operator B will be the one that will be selected for extending the service. In order to avoid service interruptions due to increased workload, advanced resource discovery mechanisms are used to identify the optimal third-party resource from a catalog of available resources. And okay, 5GZORRO's orchestration mechanisms can handle this reservation and extension of the service. So let's see the general flow of the use of the specific scenario. As we said, we assume that the run part is the one that is affected by the high traffic, so we list both run and compute resources. So the flow starts with operator C searching the catalog and selecting offers in order to create the CDN slice that he wants. He selects and orders the offer that he prefers. And then an SLA agreement is created between that operator and the resource provider. Then, through the 5GZORRO orchestration services, the CDN slice is created at operator A, which in this case is the communication service provider. Operator A generates monitoring data, which based on the SLA descriptions, and these data are used by the intelligent SLA and breach prediction function to predict possible breaches for the near future. In the scenario, in the demo, we will get an SLA breach prediction notification, and we will see how the platform will react to this. So after the breach prediction event, in order to avoid this to occur, operator C uses the 5GZORRO services in order to search for external third-party resources. It leverages on DLT Marketplace and some functionalities like smart resource and service discovery in order to select the most suitable offer from all the available ones. After these are selected and ordered dynamically by operator C, then yes, okay. Then the orchestration services are synchronized to create the new slice, that is the CDN slice P. This is located at operator B, which is in our use case the third-party resource provider. So after this happens, the new edge cache that will be instantiated at slice P should be registered to the portal in order to be able to serve users, and then some users that were initially connected to slice A can now be connected to slice B. Generally, this use case takes advantage of various benefits and innovations of 5GZORRO. The one is the DLT marketplace, which allows to have, which allows various providers to publish their resources and makes us see, gives us more options regarding to the resource we want to use. Also, artificial intelligence mechanisms are applied in order to discover and select the best resources possible. This selection is based on security analytics and on the resource characteristics. Additionally, machine learning mechanisms are used to generate predictions about the near future performance. This mechanism allows the platform to be proactive and take actions before the performance is the user realizes that his performance before affecting the performance of the user. Okay, and the elasticity that we talked earlier is achieved through dynamic network slice adaptation and service instantiation. Okay. And finally, the e-license service allows to control the instantiation and the creation of new instances of a service. This is done in an automated way. Okay, before going to the demo, just to recap, the first step is the instantiation of CDN slice A. After some time, we predict that something bad is going to happen. Many users are connected and slice A cannot handle them. So we will create the slice B on third-party compute and run resources. Sorry. Okay. So the demo, it is one video only, but I will pause to explain a few things. Oh, sorry. Okay, so operator C is operator C is the one that wants to create the CDN slice. So he is looking for a slice offer. He selects the offer from operator A, and now it makes the order. He's now giving some parameters for the order, like the dates that it will be active and a short description, and yes, submit. After selecting, okay, now we see that the offer has been selected. And now it's a turn to look for the network service offer. Yes, he found it. He gives again some parameters to place the order for the network service. This is provided by operator A as well, but it could be any operator. Now in the portal, we will see that the orders have been placed. Yes. Okay, so operator C has placed the order and okay, now it's about to instantiate those orders. He starts with a network service, instantiating it, but he also has to select, now he will select also the slice. For the slice, it has to provide some additional information through a JSON file in order for operator A to know with which service this slice is associated to. Now operator C can track the process of this transaction through the portal, or it can go for more details into ISSM, which is from the orchestration services, the highest level of the platform. And okay, Now several steps are being called from the orchestration services to instantiate the CDN slice at operator A side. Here, before proceeding with instantiation, it has to take an approval from the e-license manager because we are going to we're going to instantiate a service, and we cannot do that if we don't have the approval. Okay. We see now from other orchestration services that the slice has been instantiated. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now, okay, it continues with the instantiation. Okay. Now, yes. Now, okay, operator C receives the confirmation that the lower levels of the orchestration platform has instantiated the slice, and he can see it now from the portal. And he can also see that this instance is linked to a transaction ID. Now we see that the G node B is connected to the 5G core. This is the Amarisoft view, I believe. And a UE is now connected to that base station. Here we see the CDN content from that UE. And now we are going to see that, okay, here are some statistics from the GNB. And now we see that the UE is getting content from the cache that was just instantiated, which is this one noted here. Here is a new edge cache in slice A. And this is from where UE gets the content. Now, oh, sorry. Okay. So I want to pause. No. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, generally for the demo, of course, we could not have many users creating content and connecting to the GNB, so we had to simulate that part. And okay, 1 second, please. Okay, let me move it a bit forward. Okay. I didn't mention earlier that here is the SLA event that is created after the instantiation of the slice, of the CDN slice. So this service is being monitored and according to the SLA objectives. Okay, we already saw that. Okay, here we see the IP of the portal. This is where the user will connect to. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry. Goes back. Okay.
You need help, Marina?
Yes.
Okay. So don't worry. We have time, and we could search the point that you.
I wanted to stop at some point.
Okay. It's okay. No.
Okay,
need
we
more
are.
time?
We have already seen that. Yes, but then it goes. Yeah. Okay. Where see the user again? Oh, I will not do that again. I will not stop. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, let's let it play for a while. And I wanted to say earlier that the users are simulated, and we left it run for a while. And after some minutes, not a lot of minutes, an SLA event, an SLA breach prediction event will be generated, is generated. It will be shown in a while. Okay, we see the user interface. Okay, and after that ISM gets that event, it will start the extension procedure that is looking for third-party resources, ordering and instantiating them. But this time, this whole process is done. Here is the SLA event. Okay, and it starts the scale-out operation. It analyzes the transaction at this point. Okay. So this time the offers will be selected by ISSM. Here we see the trust score for some offers that match the requested criteria, and based on this score and other parameters, ISSM will select some of the available offers. Now it goes with ordering the offers. Okay, here are the details of the offers. Yes. And he has already placed the orders, operator C, and we can see them from the portal and see that this is the edge compute offer, and this is the radio resource offer from operator B. And now it goes with orchestrating the slice instantiation and stitching so that the second slice can be connected to the first slice. Here is we see the orchestration service trying to do this process. Again, before instantiating the network service, it has to take a confirmation from the licensing manager. Here is the VCDN cache. Here is the licensing manager that it will allow to make a new instance of the service according to the license criteria. Okay. Now, e-license gives the okay, you can proceed with the instantiation. So it will, operator ISSM will trigger the scale out, and now the actual instantiation of the network service will take place. Here we see again that, okay, the orders have been instantiated, and they are linked with a transaction ID as we saw for the other offers. Now the new slice have been instantiated. We see that we have a new radio resource available at operator B. The one with ID 1 belongs to operator B, and we see that it has the same PLMN ID with operator A, so that users can be connected to that radio. So this UE is connected to the radio B, and it gets content from the second edge cache. That's all. Sorry for the delay.
Don't worry. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Marinella, thank you so much for your time. We are in time, and we have 5 minutes to arrive to the coffee break. So I want to involve Giacomo and Shoaib for a quick consideration about this first part of the introduction and explication of the demo. So the importance of the trust and security in 5GZORRO. Open the microphone. Shrey. How is important this? Yes.
Well, just to first of all conclude on the, I would like to thank and congratulate the team. As you can see, this was a lot of work, and even like showing the
It's
demo.
not easy.
It's not easy, and even like presenting the demo itself is very, as you can see, like because there are multiple screens, there are multiple modules, and we are trying to like show also the like at the lower level within the cloud platform, like where the changes are occurring, and then on the portal as well.
So you speak yesterday in the meeting of the ambitious project of 5GZORRO. Why?
Well, as I said in my earlier, that we conceived this idea in 2018. Okay, so at that time, well, AI for network management was also was well debated, but use of DLT for distributed security, and then putting these all together in one, that was the big challenge. So one platform that is taking care of all these pillars, and then as you can see, all the workflows are interconnected. So like if there's AI for certain purposes, its results are being fed to and are being leveraged by other modules as well. So this was the complexity that all the Zorro team members they faced, and the architecture was designed, and the implementation itself was challenging. But as you can see, the results are in front of everyone.
Giacomo, by the technical side, you are proud of this amazing job. Yeah, you need to switch.
Well, yes, we have to be proud of the work we did, because there were many complexities, as Shoaib said, and I think beyond the actual result of the project and the platform that has been developed, validated, demonstrated, and as we've seen the demo today, as was anticipated in the beginning, in the introduction, it's important that there is a way forward for exploitation of what we did. We have already identified a few very important opportunities with MCA and the global operator from Telefonica that give even more value to what we did. So also, as I was mentioning, the fact that we will be able to provide the platform with tools to bootstrap the marketplace in an automated way. So we'll give value also after the project for those that would like to use the tools that we developed. So it's not just as in many European projects, you do the job, you do your components, and that's it. But we really have the opportunity to impact after the project. As I think it's the big takeaway from
even if it's possible to have the impact of the pandemic in these years, and be back to the face-to-face with the partners, just to understand and to have this kind of results.
That was another challenge. I did not want to mention, it's like, not to put everything on COVID, but nevertheless, yes.
Yes.
The impact was on the teamwork, and the whole 1 year of 2020 was kind of, slowed down. And nonetheless, we had an extension. So this is, like I said, 3 years work in progress. And we are very happy to, present the results today.
I have a special message from Maria Sanchez,
Yes.
Proud to be part of such terrific team.
Yes. We are also very happy with.
Yeah. So, and even to propose a new approach for the 5G develop, Giacomo, this is important even for under the umbrella of the European Commission and European project, I think.
Yeah, that's still going in that direction. Yes. So what we built with the project, it's something that can be leveraged and reused. The approach of the marketplace, especially, is something very interesting for this. Trying to involve multiple parties in this business-to-business interaction. So it's not just what we did, but what can be done on top of that.
Could I make a stupid question? Because it seems that the old part is coming from the south of Europe, because it's Portugal, Ubiquitous, Spain, Telefonica, Idoscat, Malta with Antoine and the Malta Communication Authority, Italy, Greece. So it's casual, or
let's say it's by chance. So I will not to put any any geographical constraint.
No, but it's just a sound, a flavor, and once. like the French people say. So it could be better even to promote the PMI and the market system for the proposition of 5G.
Yeah, I think that also maybe this southern flavor of the project would have helped also into overcoming the complexities of having most of the project remote. So having this, attitude to collaboration and try to solve issues, this might have been a good point.
So congratulations to all the speakers for this part. I consider it's not easy to make this kind of presentation, but it was a very amazing job. Very appreciate. We received for more than 80 minutes, more than 800 viewers for the presentation. So it's a very amazing results. Amazing. So I see now, Gregorio, because it's your time, because we have a coffee break now for 10 minutes.
Andrea, before we depart, I'd just like to make one
Sorry.
comment. So, no, just to conclude also, so we did discuss and present the technical, results and the validation. I would like to stress again, the other side, other part related to the legal and business validation we did.
Yep.
So, well, it's not presented today. Nevertheless, it is, reported in our deliverables, which will be on the website. So for the people interested in how this Zorro platform business validation is conceived, as well as on the legal side, our report will be available on website. So I will encourage anyone interested to visit our website and have a look at there. Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we have a very interesting roundtable starting from 4 p.m. with distinguished speakers. And I want to underline the presence of Tuba. Thank you to be here from UK. And you take time to travel here in Madrid. And probably you have a great contribution that you will give to us today. We appreciate your time, your attention, your knowledge. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really and deeply appreciated. And even from Finland. So we have, in my opinion, we have a different view from another part of Europe and the world that could be take approach by 5GZORRO. So we will see in 10 minutes, and thank you for your attention and time. Thank you so much.
process integrated in 5GZORRO and how this service is made possible through an ambitious orchestration system. This process begins at 5GZORRO platform. This platform is the interface to all 5GZORRO functionalities. At its core, it offers a marketplace in which several resources can be made available for trading between multiple stakeholders. The agreement between a service provider and a service consumer is documented in a contract which describes all the details of the service being traded and the penalties that are agreed on in case the service level objectives are not achieved. This contract is known as Service Level Agreement or SLA. After the contract is established, the orchestration of the purchased service is triggered and the SLA monitoring begins. This service checks the fulfillment of the contracts by comparing the data related to the overall service levels with the thresholds that are defined in the SLAs. If a violation is detected, it is propagated into the system and the service provider is notified. However, how can we guarantee that the detection of the SLA's violations are occurring in a safe environment? To meet this requirement, we are integrating a Trusted Execution Environment Solution, or TEE, as a root of trust for the monitoring of information. A TEE is a processing environment which enables the code and data loaded within to be protected with respect to integrity and confidentiality. By running the SLA monitoring service directly within a TEE, we are enabling the protection of data from disclosure or verification and therefore assuring the trustworthiness of the SLA analysis and leveraging a secure SLA monitoring process. For more information, please follow 5GZORRO website or come visit us at booth 36 at UCNC. Thank you.
Hi to all. 5GZORRO project is directly related with the resource and service trading. As such, it is working on different domains and considering both security and trust as main pillars. In fact, one of the principles related with the project are zero-touch security and zero-trust, being both, let's say, embedded in all the designs and developments that we are creating. As such, we are, for example, creating a marketplace based on a permissionless DLT in order to create and to provide different stakeholders the possibility to trade, create offers, buy offers. More than that, we are also creating identities as part of this DLT as distributed identifiers and verifiable credentials. Some other important results that you may access in our GitHub, the project, are the security analysis for the services, for the monitoring, as well as the trust and reputation management framework. We are also considering security as part of the VPN as a service in the network service mesh manager. And finally, a trust execution environment where we are creating a manager being able to create and manage all the communication, the secure communications as part of the 5GZORRO stakeholder. Then we are inviting you to visit our Mobile World Congress booth and then also to join our social networks together with the ecosystem, being part of the ecosystem of the project. Thanks so much.
with a lot of moving parts. You want everything to be on
I
autopilot
got a huge increase in orders, but it's nothing
and
we
to be
can't handle.
prepared if anything changes.
I'll be right in.
With IBM, you can do both. Your business can bring data together across your clouds, from suppliers to shippers to the factory floor. So whatever comes your way, the wheels keep moving, seamlessly modernizing your operations. That's why so many businesses work with IBM.
Nice work, everyone.
ubiware believes in a sustainable world, one where people feel all their needs have been met. That's the vision that fuels our quest to become leaders in smart cities and everything they encompass, from mobility, connectivity, to the environment, tourism, energy, and all else that impacts our daily lives. You might be wondering, what's a smart city? Well, it's a place where your usual networks and services are optimized with the use of digital and telecommunication technologies, so your day-to-day activities are made easier. That means smarter resource use, less pollution, improved transport networks, upgraded waste management, and more efficient ways to manage light and heat for your greater comfort. The truth is, cities work a lot like our own bodies. They can be seen as a living organism that feels and reacts to stimuli. Much like our senses, smart cities have mechanisms that gather information, which is then processed by central control systems who define the most adequate response based on what is most beneficial to our survival and well-being. Through these processes, ubiware's solutions have already changed the lives of residents of more than 60 smart cities all over the world. Anticipate the needs of your citizens through one single integrated platform. Let's talk.
Thank you so much for your passions during the coffee break in this final event rendered by 5GZORRO. We have closed the first part for the demo and the presentation. And now it's time for the Tech Talk. It's the Tech Talk number 5 in the history of 5GZORRO project. And this Tech Talk will explore the new requirements and characteristics introduced by the 5G and 6G networks, which have not previously been covered by previous solutions in the literature, and the current efforts of major standardization groups to homogenize the main process of trust models. The different angles currently considered to provide trust in cross-domain scenarios, as well as some of the current solutions from European projects. We have the privilege, first of all, I need to underline our gratitude to the Universidad Carlos III in Madrid to host this event, and to the technical team. Thank you so much to all of you to give us the opportunity to show and program this event live. Now we have more than 900 people. So for me, it's an amazing number. I don't know what you have in mind, Gregorio, in this sense. So welcome, Gregorio. You are the moderator of this interesting tech talk, number 5. Trust. Trust is a very amazing word, trust. Even in this moment worldwide, I think. So trust in B5G networks. So I let you to present your distinguished speakers, and great job.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for still staying here today live, and also the people watching us in YouTube. Really appreciate it. You know, the big numbers that we are rising here. So this is 5GZORRO. This is final event. Let me recap what 5GZORRO means. This is zero touch, security and trust for ubiquitous computing and connectivity in 5G networks. From there, from the title, based on the words from my colleagues Schweib and Giacomo, and also from the use cases, we have been seeing both the theoretical perspective and also the practical side on the 3 use cases. Now we are zooming in into the word trust. We'll be presenting the view from 5GZORRO. Both my colleague Diego and myself will be providing the standardization view and also how we are seeing things. But also we are quite honored today to be here, to have here two quite distinguished speakers together with us, Tuba Faisal and Raimo Cantola. First, coming from King College London, and also working for NetLabs in France, and also Raimo Cantola from Aalto University. So we're going to have 2 different perspectives from people outside, staying here from 2 p.m., seeing what we have been presenting and giving their view, outside view. It is going to help in order to see what other perspective we can have from now on in this trust beyond 5G. The structure that we're going to follow is basically some presentations, 7 to 10 minutes from each of the speakers, starting with Raimo, then Tuba, Diego, and myself. And then after that, we'll be having a round table. I'm inviting you, people here and people in YouTube, that any presentation, any question coming from those presentations will be more than welcome. We'll be following them, both Andrea and myself, and try to address them as part of this roundtable. This is basically the structure. So this is time for me just to introduce the first speaker, distinguished speaker, is Raimo Cantola. So Raimo, let me just put here your slides, and I'm introducing you quickly. This is your stuff. Yeah. So let me introduce you. So one sec, Raimo. Yes. So just giving the introduction for Raimo. Raimo Cantola is Professor Emeritus of Networking Technology at Aalto University in Finland. His research interests have focused on embedding trust into networks, such as 6G, trust solutions, and the digital green transformation. After 15 years of working in the industry in Nokia, he joined Helsinki University and finally has tenure as full professor in 2005. So the floor is yours. Thanks, Raimo.
Thank you, Giorgio, and thank you for inviting me to this distinguished event. Your work has been mainly about the business-to-business relation and trust in business-to-business relation. This is sort of a generalization of the MNO to MNO relation in cellular networks. I take a different view. I'm interested in end-to-end kind of security and how that could be supported in the future cellular networks. Let me see, it's this one. No, it's not this one.
You may use the mouse if you want.
Oh. Yeah. So for end-to-end, it's important to get started with from the bottom. So we have IP, and then in your project, you also assume that IP is the underlying communications medium. However, we know that that is very weak in terms of security. We are sort of, or there's a reason to be afraid that we are building on sand, which is not a good idea. It's better to build on something much firmer. We are talking about ultra-reliable services, but the IP provides just a single path at any given time. Convergence to another path takes a long time, so achieving very high availability performance for end-to-end services is very hard. There's no authentication. We can lie about the address where the packet is coming from, and this leads to very difficult mitigation of DDoS, for example. There are only best of services in the wide area in multi-operator IP networks. Domain names cannot be trusted, and maybe most ridiculous among these weaknesses is this one that BGP paths can be hijacked, which opens the door to man-in-the-middle attacks, and not nice at all. By the way, example of this weakness is my students work on fragment SMAC and segment SMAC. I don't know how well these are known, but basically he found weaknesses both in IP and TCP protocols. And as a result, all the server computers on the internet had to be upgraded. Changes in the operating system had to be made. There is no separation of control plane and data plane. Some kind of answer is SDN, but that has lots of limitations. So in order to go for end-to-end security, it's important to talk about isolation in networks. Sort of security is about isolation. So if the bad guys cannot see you, what you are doing, then you should be more or less secure. Two aspects to isolation is resource isolation, which is weak in IP. We have tried tens and tens of years to do int services, diff services, and neither of them work for the interdomain case because of the weak underlying security. And then there's the security isolation. We can do leased lines, for example, using MPLS. We can create Ethernet circuits, even across multiple domains. But the limitation is that, okay, we could have maybe 2 providers, 3 providers, but there's one customer only. You must sell this VPN or leased line to one customer. And then firewalls, of course, they can, in practice, work with the destination addresses, not the source addresses. Question is whether there's a more generic way to do the isolation for any-to-any services across the network. And if we want to provide end-to-end services, secure services, then this is what we need. The current approach is largely about the subscriber to MNO relation. Your work expand the MNO to MNO roaming relationship to something which is more generic business to business relation, but still the end-to-end is missing. Slicing helps, but on the other hand, this term, in my opinion, is slightly overplayed in the industry, a typical kind of hype term. Then, of course, in security, there's a lot of work on machine learning, like in other aspects of the network. But when it comes to machine learning, we cannot prove anything, right? And also the hackers can use the machine learning, right? The approach that we have been working on is this approach of cooperative security. We motivate that by game theory, prisoner's dilemma, which says that actually the conditions for cooperation over the internet are not in place. The cooperative strategy is not going to be like the sustained strategy that automatically will be chosen. There are hackers, and we know this, right? To counter or mitigate this problem, we suggest that cooperative security would be needed, where two firewalls on the edge of the network can talk to each other and establish a chain of trust from host to firewall to firewall to host. And sort of the firewall becomes an agent of the host as a result. Then the wide area component that we suggest we should look at in beyond 5G and 6G is called SCION, comes from Switzerland, scalability, control, and isolation in networks. This is a working solution. There's a working software. We have tested it, quite happy. Couldn't spot any bugs in the software, high quality. This gives massive multipath, and the paths are protected by crypto, so they cannot be faked. Source addresses cannot be faked in this network. They also have a solution for wide area quality of service. So you could reserve resources for end-to-end connection if you want. Also, there's embedded DDoS mitigation. So we implemented a combination of these two. The public service is provided by SCION over the wide area. We run the SCION on virtual machines over FUNET, which is the Finnish NREN network. And then the customer networks were IP-based. Interior routing was IP-based, but the wide area was SCION. So no BGP in use, and then the customer switch, which is our own development, is the default gateway connecting these originator and destinator networks to the wide area. Of course, also alternative kind of scenarios need to be supported at the same time, where the public service would be based on IP. Also, that should be possible, or MPLS. How this then fits with the 5G, 6G, we can put this SCION thing into one wide area slice segment, or many slice segments for different use cases. And then we could run anything sensitive, critical over those slices. Banking, payments. So when you get the bill for 10,000 euro, you don't need to make a call to the sender of the bill, the original sender of the bill, but because, the billing company is going to be different, right? So, like your university rules might be, for example, that you cannot click on this. And, this is a CEO hoax that is happening here. To eliminate that, we should isolate all these transactions, monetary transactions, from anything else on the internet, right? Also, very natural approach would be to put the core functions, the VNFs that run the core or create the core onto a SCION network, rather than run them over IP, right? Softwareization of networks makes this feasible. Sort of just like 10 years ago, this would not have been feasible at all. But softwareization allows us to do this, right? Surprise, surprise. And the motivation largely comes from the merger of physical worlds and the digital worlds. If we carry on as we are with IP at the bottom, it will mean that hackers will be able to do real world crime, physical world crime by digital means and never get caught, right? Which is very, very expensive for the governments. They need new kinds of police force and not really workable. We shouldn't go there. Okay, then the cooperative firewalling role is to sort of look at the host level aspects of security and improve the possibilities of deployment of different kinds of things at different paces and make connectivity and the best possible security available to everybody in all cases. SCION has started with the running code approach. There are no specifications yet. They are being created as we speak. And they have the second version this year out, and they have commercial use already. Target, what I see for the industry is that we should be able to sort of containerize the end-to-end service over the internet. It's as safe as a container is safe on a cloud platform to run a service, right? End to end. It means sort of virtualization of the end device also at best, but we cannot control that necessarily because it's the big guys who decide about this. So we need other mechanisms to complement the solution if there's no virtualization on the end device. All right, so this gives a new direction or addition that we could, a new challenge that we should take in the 6G community. Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Raimo. So time for next presentation. So Tuba. So time to present Tuba. Thanks, Raimo, for the presentation. Time to present and introduce the second distinguished speaker, Tuba Faisal. Tuba is a research Web3 engineer at Nokia Bell Labs in France. She's recently completed her PhD in telecommunication from King College London. Congratulations, Tuba.
Thank you.
And has several years of blockchain and smart contracts. She led ETSI standards reports on the topic of smart contract architecture and security. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Gregory. Okay, my name is Tobias Gregory Saige. I will be presenting on the topic of smart contracts. So smart contracts, so all the opinions are my own and Bell Labs, there are no responsibility. Okay, so what are smart contracts? Smart contracts are software codes. They are installed on distributed ledgers and which are immutable data structures. This evening, we have talked about DLT a lot. And everybody, if you search Google Scholar and websites, and everybody's talking about how distributed ledgers can contribute to a trustable environment in an untrustable environment in a trusted manner. Every node keeps a copy of a ledger. That's a reason. That's one of the reasons. Smart contracts particularly are the codes which are installed on those ledgers, and that's how the distributed ledgers becomes dynamic, because distributed ledgers are ledgers. They are static. They don't do anything on their own. Smart contracts actually perform the executions and make them executable and make them dynamic. And since smart contracts are installed on distributed ledgers, they inherit some of the properties of the distributed ledgers. For example, immutable. So they are immutable, like a particular or typical distributed ledger. So they are recorded, they cannot be changed or amended. They're auto-executable. So once we install smart contracts on a ledger, it cannot be changed. It is there forever. So we need to be really careful while we're installing smart contracts in a ledger and when we are doing very serious kind of transactions or using it for a purpose which is very sensitive or even sensitive. And transparent, because similar to distributed ledgers, because they are installed on every single node on the ledger typically, every participant in the ledger keep a same copy of the contract, and they are transparent to the network. Again, typically some blockchains, they actually have like Hyperledger Fabric, they have got channels in which the ledger can be private, smart contract can be private in between two parties, but that's a different topic. So typically they are transparent. These properties are challenging. So it's not simple to use smart contracts and distributed ledgers. I advocate throughout my PhD thesis, and my all research work is on the focus. It's not trivial. It's very difficult. And it has to be managed. These properties needs to be managed in order for us to use smart contracts as a contractual mechanism in future generation of networks or any service provisioning. Related to telcos or non-telcos, it needs to be managed. So what we have done to mitigate those problems? So we have worked really hard together with Diego and our ETSI, ISG, PDL permission distributed ledgers. We proposed a life cycle of a smart contract. So we say that a smart contract should not be installed on a distributed ledger just like that. So it has to go through a series of steps in order for us to mitigate the problems smart contracts they have inherited. And first of all is the template. So stakeholders, they should sit together, they plan a smart contract, and then the smart contract move to the coding phase. And once it's coding, it has to be tested properly. I would ask the interested readers to go through our group report PDL 004, in which we define the detailed process of planning and testing, and we can always go back to the planning phase or the testing phase until it's not stalled. The last step is the development and the deployment and the execution. So smart contract is deployed on the ledger in the third phase as per our life cycle proposed in at CPDL GR 004. And even if it's installed and deployed on the ledger, it has to be continuously monitored. So smart contracts should not be left alone or without any monitoring mechanism in order for us to avoid any dangers to the whole contractual system. So we say again, contract moves to the coding phase only when all the stakeholders agree that the smart contract is designed as per the requirements of the system. And so termination, the people who are sitting there with the technological background, they will argue on me in this termination, because smart contract technically cannot be terminated. It's there. It will be running forever as long as the ledger lives. So in the termination phase, we use, again, I will ask the interested readers to go through and look for our report on PDL 004. The termination is the clause actually inside the smart contract and using delays like this. After this time, the smart contract will be inactive. All the variables will be flushed like a typical software program, and the smart contract will be dead. It will be there. It's not deleted from the ledger, but it will be inactive. It will be unusable. So that's the basic report was PDL 004 was a report, and we extend this notion in PDL 0011 as well in this group specifications. So what approaches we have taken in our both the report and the specifications? We focus on access control. The smart contracts should not be deployed by anybody. It has to be deployed, it has to be managed, it has to be called, it has to be executed by the parties which are authorized only. Development life cycle, it has to be the life cycle should be maintained and managed, and it has to be followed. 3-pass approach. So in that we have we have proposed a 3-pass approach and the checklist. So before the deployment, the smart contract has to go through the checklist, like the aviation in the pilots go through the checklist and tick mark everything that we have done, all the checks before it's being deployed. Testing, the comprehensive testing has to be done. It can be in the sandbox, it can be in the production, small production, not the full production, I would say. The small Docker nodes, small nodes, 3-4 systems, they can be connected, and this comprehensive online, offline testing has to be done. Conclusion. So here we will conclude the work. The smart contracts, they indeed provide a mechanism for the successful contractual mechanism. A lot of skepticism we see in industry specifically, that people are not ready to embrace DLT and smart contracts due to the limitations they have and the limitations we talk about. We say that you can do this. It's not impossible, but we need to be ready for it. We need to follow the procedures we have, and we need to be careful when we deploy smart contracts. We need to follow the procedures, we need management, and we need some initiative, standardization initiatives. So we all have to agree on the procedures before the deployment of the smart contracts to be followed too, in order for us to use a smart contract. And so yes, we can use smart contracts. Smart contracts is very, very useful tool for us for our future mechanism, as 5GZORRO project is advocating. So on this note, I would conclude my presentation, and thank you all for your listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tuba, for your really interesting talk with Raimo. So the third speaker today.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Have you said that Tuba is an amazing professional career on their shoulder, because it's a PhD in telecommunication, interest in distributed ledger technologies, service level agreements, King's College Etsy representative. Come on, it's an amazing, it's an amazing efforts in your career. So yeah, congratulations. And even network design for 6G and beyond. So you're looking for 7G or 8G even. Congratulations. It's a real privilege to welcome you here. No. It's for us even. So congratulations, Gregorio, and all the people that permit to have this kind of contribution, because
this is true. This is true. So real pleasure, to be here and came to, even he's working for us for 5GZORRO. This is one of the very several projects that Diego Lopez is from Telefonica is having. Yeah. So he will be giving a really interesting talk and view, complementing both 5GZORRO and the experience that he's having.
No, what I think it seems that Diego Lopez is not nobody, but in reality, Diego,
I wish I were nobody, and I was.
Diego Lopez just introducing.
Si quieres te lo digo en castellano.
Just introducing formally, Diego Lopez is senior technology expert in Telefonica. Her Santa Ana started activities to become NFB, for which we are celebrating the 10th anniversary. And currently chairing the Etsy ISG on automations, REM, and blockchains for PDL that we already mentioned. So Diego, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, and thank you to all the kind words, etc. I'm flattered, but the proud guy in me really appreciates that. It's something that then
there is humanity in technological development.
No, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That's this is something then I will tell my girls if this is going to be on YouTube, right? I'll show them anyway. So when planning the tech talk with Gregorio, the idea was to have two speakers that were from the outside and trying to bring a little bit something that is connected to what they have been presenting. In fact, I am glad that we were working or talking with people that are working with Skion right now, precisely trying to go for what you mentioned about 6G and using Skion for 6G and things like thinking, though the problem is what you mentioned that you want to use IP right now is something that sounds like a great heretic statement, and this is something that we have to fight against. And for sure, working with Tuba, Tuba has made, I would say, 80% going very high. The 80% of the success of the Etsy PDL and the attention that has gained is basically is her merit. So it's good to be here. And the idea was precisely to introduce two aspects. I mean, talking about thinking on trust and trust in networking, two aspects that are important for 5GZORRO, or connected to what we have been doing in 5GZORRO. And then another idea that is about the challenge that we have started that is connected with 5GZORRO as well, because it's something that we are considering for further work. First is about how trust is essential for making anything that you want to automate, especially in an environment like the networking environment, where you have is many different actors, many different stakeholders, consumers, providers, prosumers, because at the end, not any longer there is anyone that is just providing or just consuming. All of us are producing or providing and consuming, and all of us want to get the maximum price for what we provide and the minimum cost for what we are acquiring, things like that. When it comes to precisely supporting automated service provisioning and assurance, what is one of the main goals that we have right now within operators, I would say among our technology providers and our customers, precisely trust is essential, and the way in which you may automate the trust becomes essential as well, which is very much connected to a couple of things that are becoming more and more important. One is the supply chains. Supply chains are becoming longer, more complex, and something that is the pandemics have shown us is that precisely we are extremely dependent of those supply chains. Think about the scarcity of face masks or the scarcity of protection suits at the beginning, of the problems with the different medical supplies, etc. everybody is interested in this kind of automation, and everybody is interested in having support for trusting whatever is happening. And for sure, both providers, consumers, and take into account that all of us are either at the same time or in most cases providing and consuming. And something that is extremely interesting is precisely that this is very important for everything and for something that at the end is one of the at the core of what we're doing. This is the billing and how you pay and how you are paid for what you provide. Tuba was mentioning about transparency, and this is something that is equally important if we want to automate in a multi-domain or multi-provider, multi-consumer environment. The capacity of accessing what has happened, to evaluate, to rely on third parties that you trust and not necessarily the other party trusts, but that can help you in finding how to deal with it is something that is essential. And that brings us to everything that has to do with reputation and how you can assess how much trustworthy someone is, depending precisely on the trust that you put in whoever is making this assessment. And at the end is about something that is how we deal with service level agreements, how we can establish, verify, and enforce them. And with this idea of going some steps beyond, and this is why there you have a life cycle, or well, not a life cycle, it's the basic architecture of smart contracts is how you connect precisely service level agreements with smart contracts, and you make them automatically enforceable, and what is more important even, automatically having a direct automatic economic impact on what you are providing and consuming. The other aspect that we have been looking inside 5GZORRO and is connected with trust is precisely how you use trust, or how you establish trust by verification, how you can rely on the elements that you have there for making verifying how much you can trust and how much, or assess the level of security that you can put on a particular service, which is something that as networks are evolving, as we are forgetting precisely about the perimeter security, that I have my firewall, whatever is behind my firewall is secure, whatever is beyond my firewall is unsecure, but while I am behind my firewall, I can be safe. The adversaries right now, well, they have not only cannons, they have tanks and they have missiles, and they can fire whatever and come over the walls. And something that is important equally as well is that the virtualization breaks all of this. We cannot rely any longer on that there is a physical barrier that is controlled normally by a big armed guy that is in front of us. It's not allowing you to enter, and you are safe. Your workloads, your data, everything is moving around. You need to have mechanisms to establish dynamically trust and to consume what is referred there as a security self-assessment. The idea is that whatever the entity, using mechanisms that can be trusted, can make an assessment of what is the security state, and that can be dynamically, as we were seeing before when we were talking about the trust and automation, can be evaluated, and a decision can be taken. And that allows us precisely for even a further degree in automation, that is precisely the mechanisms that are autonomous. And even, yes, autonomous, and even, yes, autonomous, because there is this idea that is something that is automatic, have a closed loop that you control. When it's autonomic, in which you are influencing the closed loop with a policy, and when it becomes autonomous and is smart enough to take its own decisions precisely on the different policies that have been communicated. And just to conclude, is about precisely the idea of how to establish a certain level of trust. Oh, well, anyway, what you have is a number of circles of trust between the thing that you can mostly trust in the universe, that is yourself, and going, or at least according to the card, that you can believe that you exist because you are thinking about yourself. But we're not going to talk about philosophy, but if you like, later on we can discuss about that, and how you going further away from your inner point of trust you can trust more or less, and how you can establish a particular level of trust for a certain service, for a particular environment of a particular goal, which is a new concept that we have started to explore within these discussions on 6G security, because we're trying, or at least some of us are trying to make 6G something that goes a little bit beyond just having a different core that is more agile, or a radio that is faster, trying to go into a different concept for network architectures and how they interact with the environments. And one of the things that we have is precisely about this idea of that you have mechanisms for establishing which is the level of trust, or how much trust you can put on a particular service when you're asking for it. Something that is very important, is connected to what I was saying before, is precisely that can be evaluated, assessed, and supported by third parties, to which you have trust by whatever the means. It's not that you can trust your government, you can trust your network providers, you can even be crazy and trust Google, for example, or Facebook, but that's up to you. You make your choice, you evaluate your trust. And this idea is precisely we have started to work as a continuation of what we have been doing in 5GZORRO, with the idea of building an environment for assessing this level of trust, using the results of 5GZORRO in a different project that is currently focused on 6G and on the basics of the foundations of 6G architecture. And for sure, we are doing it using or trying to use as much components based on smart behavior and smart contracts and a distributed environments as possible. So this is, I believe, at least in this aspect, is a continuation of the project by other means in the future. And with this, I have concluded. So thank you. Well, let's go for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Diego. So just last presentation is coming from, let's see where it is. Here it is. From myself. So basically, I'm trying to give some complementary vision based on real things that have been happening in 5GZORRO, real results, but also just trying to transition somehow to what's happening next, which is a roundtable, possibly 10, 15 minutes roundtable, not much time. A set of things that we have been envisioning at the level of 5GZORRO on questions that needs to be solved somehow. My mic. So, I mean, coming here, I mean, this is a picture that both Schweib, Giacomo has been elaborating already. Let me make put the zoom from the task perspective. So there are 3 steps there. The first one is directly related with how we are discovering things. So the first process on discovery is directly related with the DLT. And we will be hearing on 2 DLTs. One for identifying things, identifying nodes, identifying elements inside the 5GZORRO, and the second one is directly related with where the offers are being published, and on top of that we can start the second step. Second step is directly on the intelligent selection, requests, and access. For that, something that Diego was mentioning before, which is reputation. It is basically how humans are behaving. That means, based on our historical information, what we hear from third parties, some other people, we are evaluating some nodes which is possibly coming into our circle. Something similar is coming into the technology, into the IT, and this is something we're approaching here into 5GZORRO. And the third one is directly related with the trust establishment itself. So the typical VPN being offered as a service. So coming into the details, you will see 1, 2, and 3 as part of my slides. This is basically helping to identify the 3 main points that I've been commenting before. So the first one, again, DLT, 2 perspectives. First, for the identity, based on governance, and the second one on marketplace. This is basically for the trading of the offers. Second one, based on historical interaction and feedback, we are making something that we call inside 5GZORRO unidirectional trust. So we are providing or giving, let's say, the final customers, the users of those offers, of those services, of those applications, we are giving certain information. So they are not starting like blind. They are having certain information on which
of the different offers, meeting their expectation, meeting their intents, is really the best that they can choose. And the third one is the concept of VPNs, but we are evolving that. We have been evolving that as part of this 5GZORRO project in order to create something agnostic to the virtualization technologies being used underlying. So this is why we call it VPN as a service. So my last slide, which is also helping to move, next one, also to move into the roundtable, is basically on the questions that we have been doing ourselves inside this consortium, 3 years work. First thing is how privacy and security foundations might be impacting trust. This is also directly related with Diego, Tuba, and Raimo. This is something will be coming soon with the roundtable. Which are the new requirements? We have been hearing several times on 6G. Which are the new requirements that we should be considering there? Second question. The third one, everything is supposed to be smart, close to use artificial intelligence. In this particular case of trust, data is quite crucial. Can we establish real artificial intelligence helping to create trust? This is another question that we are doing here as part of the project. Standardization efforts. Do we need to go in this direction? Is there forums where these kind of things are being discussed? Are we creating something like generic information models, generic interfaces that we can, whatever trust model that you're using inside your domain, you can interact and you can use? And the last one is directly related with something that also Diego was mentioning on the virtual function being fully embedded into the network. Can trust be embedded inside the network, inside the services, inside the functions that we are providing, so to increase? So this is the last slide from the perspective of 5GZORRO, and this is, again, guiding somehow what we are going to discuss in this roundtable. So moving here.
Moving here and basically opening now the roundtable based on this question that I've been just highlighting and showing. And I would really like to hear from you guys, which is basically the new requirements that you are identifying inside 6G networks. So this is the second of the topics that you are seeing in the slide, but something that I think that might be worth. So we are transitioning between beyond 5G, which is 5GZORRO, and there is also some mentions to 6G. What do you think are the main requirements? So I don't know, Raimo, Tuba, or Diego?
Of course, there's a lot of inertia in the community developing these technologies. It's like you can take 6G as okay, this will introduce new radio and new devices will be needed and new boxes need to be sold and bought, and everybody should work in the same pace. And but at the same time, I think we should consider seriously the fact that sensing and communication are becoming part of the same platform. So we are reading real world, what is happening there that may be related to humans or devices or some machines. And if something can be hacked in that respect, that sounds pretty dangerous. It means that physical world crime will be made by digital means. So we should do our best in order to avoid this kind of situation with 6G and beyond 5G networks. That has been my argument for going to a leap in level of security in 6G networks compared to what we now have.
Thanks, Raimo. I don't know, Tuba or Diego, do you want to elaborate a bit more on your perspective?
From my side, I think standardization efforts is the first point of to initiate the process of starting 6G or moving towards 6G or moving beyond 5G. The reason I'm saying the standardization efforts is that because the technology is evolving, we have got a number of technologies available. We have got AI, we have got machine learning, and every technology, we have distributed ledgers, and every technology, they have got their gaps. And they are not 100% trustable or 100% okay, because when we delegate some of the responsibility to the agents, some of the responsibility to the machines, they make judgments which are close to human, but they can make errors. And who's going to bear the responsibility of that trust? of that action. So I think the standardization efforts can step in and first of all define the scope of the ways the technologies can be used, the areas the technologies can be used, and what technology can, how much we can automate, and how much still we have to monitor until the technology is mature. So if we want to embrace those technologies in 6G and beyond, I think the standardization efforts is the first step towards it. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Diego, from your side.
Yes, I would like to make a comment on something that is precisely the pervasiveness of network devices. Not networks necessarily themselves, but the network devices. If you think about how things have evolved from a computer at home that was used by everyone, etc., well, right now we have in every household, you have several tens of different devices that are connected. And we're moving in the direction in which that will become more and more pervasive. Many of them will not be, it will be unmaintainable. The mechanisms for security that we have right now in terms of patching, antivirus, etc., is going to become unmaintainable because you're not going to care about the security posture of your electric bulb, or it will be very difficult to verify how, I don't know, the thing that you use for positioning your armchair in front of the TV is being controlled. So precisely the idea of how you control the security, how you express your security requirements, how you express your policies, and how they are enforced in a way that are first reaching to this big capillarity of the different services on the one hand, and on the other hand, that is understandable by humans, that is equally important. Is something that I believe is the big challenge. And not to forget the privacy part. That is another thing that is can be extremely delicate.
Thanks, Diego. I will just on top of the word that's the last one that you are mentioning, Diego, the privacy, which is also part of the slides that I was presenting. How do you see the privacy concerns into this huge number of devices and different layers? We are not just speaking about the digital layer, but we are also speaking about the systems and the humans on this 6G world. So there are different planes. Privacy, which is, let's say, a big question mark for 5G and current networks. What about 6G? Seems to be something like really challenging. What do you think?
If I may comment on Lopez very briefly. In Europe, we have a huge shortage of competence in terms of security. It's like security experts are needed more and more and more. And then laymen are responsible for their own security on their homes and so on. And this is not what we want in the future. We want to obtain the same benefits that cloudification and cloud computing give to office computing. So by moving applications to cloud, automation can be taken further. So also for end devices, we can take automation further by applying cloud technology and cloud approach. At least anything that is critical. Then I think we can make progress. In terms of privacy, 6G introduces this idea that sensing is part of the same platform. Even today, we are able to use, for example, Wi-Fi signals to read intimate knowledge about the humans that are within that signal. With the 6G radio, we are going to be able to do more in terms of reading what the humans are doing or how their health is and so on and so forth. So there will be a huge issue with privacy in 6G. Lots of research work to be done there.
Final comment from your side, Diego or Tuba. We are almost closing here. This question.
Just a comment on privacy. Long time ago, when I was younger, I was working precisely on identity federations. Let's say my hair had another color. We were working precisely on identity federation and the concerns around privacy. And I remember that there was an expression of a gentleman that was one of the smartest people I have met. It was about your privacy doesn't have any value to me. And this is something that is, the point here is about what we need are the tools so you can do with your data, with your privacy, whatever. But this is something that right now we can't. We simply can't. We are forced to relinquish all of our rights to use certain services. Getting back to this and make this the evolution of the how you express your privacy preferences, and for sure it's in a way that is understandable, that is something that I think is one of the key aspects that we have with whatever the networking and whatever the IT technology that we are thinking about.
Tuba, a statement, and we are closing here.
Just last comment. I think Diego's point is very valid. The privacy
Open your mic.
Oh, sorry. I think I will continue with Diego's point. Privacy is very crucial point, because privacy actually, when we compromise our privacy, we produce data. When we produce data, we have machine learning algorithms, we have AI algorithms which are trained on that data to do the things which in future. So I think that's a very critical challenge we will face in our future networks and future time which is coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuba. It's time for us to close here, because we have a final statement from our coordinator and from one of our board package leader. Thanks, Diego. Thanks, Tuba. Thanks, Raimo. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I had some questions, but due to time, well, I'll talk after this one. Indeed, I will also like to thank you, Gregorio, for arranging this panel. And this topic was, I think, missing in our last tech talks that we did. So finally, very great insights. In the end, I would like to first introduce the dissemination leader of the 5GZORRO project, and so she can point to if you like to follow the project, what can you do?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching our last tech talk and for staying with us throughout this afternoon. I'd like to point out, as Shai said, to our social media. You are free, and we invite you to follow us and to find out what we have been up to throughout this project. Thank you so much. The links are over there. Just follow us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. So as she said, if I'm not wrong, we have around more than 40 videos of different demos and related to the project. And also the demos we had today, they will be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. In the end, before we close, I would like to especially thank the consortium, the people working with us in this project. They put their time and sweat in this, because for 3 years, I have a lot of memories of this project. A lot of people who left, so another impact of COVID was that there was a high rotation of, people. But finally, we have, arrived with the results at the end of the project. Nevertheless, I would like to thank all the people who were part of the project and who have, at the end saw this through. Well, again, thanks to our host, UC3M. It was a, really well-hosted event. And thanks, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
5GZORRO, zero-touch security and trust for ubiquitous computing and connectivity in 5G networks. The 5GZORRO project is working on new security and trust solutions for multi-domain and multi-stakeholder scenarios in 5G and beyond networks. The 5GZORRO platform will enable multiple stakeholders across different geographical areas to trade and/or lease heterogeneous resources, spectrum, computing, network storage, and virtual network functions, VNFs, for optimizing, depending on their business role. The available network resources and established 5G services in an easy, flexible, automated, secure, and trustful manner, ultimately fulfilling the need for securing and allocating resources according to demand. Multiple 5G operators with different technologies and geographical span would be able to collaborate for better ubiquitous services. Through the 5GZORRO innovative platform, it is possible to execute Zero Touch, resource discovery using DLTs for trust and security. Intelligent third-party resource selection, request, and access and/or use. Trust establishment among multi-parties. 4 major logical subsystems implement the functionalities of 5GZORRO platform. 5G Marketplace Subsystem, Governance Subsystem, AI Ops and Network Automation Subsystem, Zero Touch Multi-Stakeholder MANO Trust and Security Subsystem. The 5G Marketplace Subsystem is DLT-based. Discovery and classification processes are designed to be automated to minimize human intervention, making the published offers immutable and easy to be discovered and classified. It enables 5G product catalog and smart service and resource discovery, smart contracts among providers and consumers. The governance subsystem modules implement the functions the 5GZORRO Marketplace admittance, revocation of membership, and regulation. The AI Ops and Network Automation subsystem is an AI-based process that selects the most suitable offers among the ones present into the marketplace blockchain through data lakes, zero-touch service management. In the 5GZORRO platform, the multi-stakeholder MANO trust and security subsystem provides a set of automated services that guarantee the trust and security among the parties involved into a business relationship, providing autonomous and decentralized solutions for trust management and security for multi-domain network slicing and multi-tenancy. Solution tests are in progress in 5G Barcelona and 5Tonic laboratories. Our code is open source and available on GitHub. Visit 5GZORRO at www.5gzorro.eu. Be part of our ecosystem on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube.